Hello again, YouTube. Welcome back to another replay analysis here. This game featured a very strong 5-stack of Latios and Latias, of course, but also backed up by the Ho-Oh core, Charizard for a really strong lane duo, and of course Leafeon for really good ganks and pressure and objectives. We really stomped them this game. Honestly, I mainly wanted to record this one just to show off a few cool things that happened to this game and talk about Latias after the patch that happened recently. So obviously, Latias got a lot of buffs. Pretty much all of her moves were made better or different in some capacity. The biggest changes for me are that Dragon Pulse does way more damage, and Dragon Breath does way more damage as well, and is a slow on its non-plus form. So both moves are obviously more viable. I still tend to lean towards Dragon Pulse in terms of my personal preference. However, I do enjoy Dragon Breath as well, especially if I have a team that has a lot of special damage. Like if I have 4 special damage dealers, counting myself on my team, I will definitely do Dragon Breath. And as for the second moves, between Dragon Cheer and Mist Ball, I think what I said originally in my guide really applies well now, in that Mist Ball is really great if you don't have Latios. And if you do have Latios, Dragon Cheer is a really incredible move. I think if you change the Dragon Cheer, quite honestly, make it a little awkward in some situations, and that you're sort of forced to dash to someone, which isn't always ideal. But in a game where you have Pokemon like Charizard and Ho-Oh, who are decently mobile and will constantly play opposite sides in fights, you kind of have an easier time than you would think being able to find someone that you want to dash to with Dragon Cheer. But to speak to Mist Ball's defense, even though I won't pick it this game, I have been picking it a lot more, and like I said, I play it whenever I don't have Latios, and it's a way better move now. You can use it plus Dragon Pulse with just 25 stacks to clear a Baltoy in the mid game. That's pretty good clear and gets you a free stack nice and easy with just 2 cooldowns, so having that damage buff is really, really nice in a lot of ways for the Pokemon. Not to mention, it gives you a better reason to run Curse, like I mentioned in my video. The damage over time aspect of Mist Ball makes it a great option with Curse to continually apply the buff, the debuff on the Pokemon that you're hitting. There you saw me make use of the extra wide angle of the Dragon Pulse to hit them and the farm. Got me a nice 6 stacks there. That time we were a little late, but I'm just going in mid, making sure we're getting as much farm as possible on all our Pokemon, getting some XP share value, getting a last hit for some more Eon stacks, spending a little time farming a Baltoy for some solo XP since bottom is going so swimmingly. Now, you may have also noticed that despite having a Latios in the game, we split lanes. This was intentional. One option you have when splitting lanes as Latios and Latias, even though they're really strong to play together, is that you can have one person go to the other lane when they're in trouble, to help their team out very quickly if they need it. So for instance, if a bunch of people ran top, I could help top or bottom. Vice versa, you know? I could have my Latios coming in here. Look, and here he is now. Ready for us to do this together, for him to get a lot of Eon stacks, and then we can do the objective afterwards. Here I stopped scoring to give my teammates a little more time to farm up some more, to get some more stacking done. If you're this far ahead of your enemy team, it's sometimes a good idea to leave the goal zone a little while longer intentionally, instead of giving them farm on the map sooner. Here I just decided to break it so we can get rid of their flux zone and get to the objective nice and quickly. Mist Ball being better also means that you can use Mist Ball to help rip objectives a little faster. It's not quite as strong as Luster Courage, obviously, but it's still a decent, like, B version of the move, so I'd say I'm really glad with the buffs they gave Latias. They made Latias a much stronger Pokemon, but it's also much more viable as a result. And there you saw the first double ult of the match, obviously showing off a way in which Latias and Latios are still very, very dominant together. So obviously that hasn't changed at all. I think that the nerfs on Latios were pretty much nullified by the buffs on Latias when they're playing together. So really, truly, I think they're both still S and A tier respectively when played together. And I think Latias is still A tier potential, or S tier potential after the nerfs. If not S, then A. He does struggle in very volatile environments. That's sort of the biggest problem with Latias. Here, take a chance to score all the chaos my teammates are creating. There, using Dragon Cheer on myself just for a little bit of speed boost. And again, just going for last hits is one of the biggest things to do in the mid game as Latias, if there's not a lot of fighting to do. And Latias is getting some scoring done before he's not able to anymore. And we see now they're pushing top as 5. Here's a team we sort of decide, well, we don't have a goal zone. We can score a lot bottom. Let's just do that instead of trying to contest them. Of course, those that are close do manage to hold off for a while. But the enemy team eventually takes it. And because my Latias and Charizard are both fighting, of course I am too. Here we get an incredible double ult, and between all the damage we had, we easily wiped all 5 of them. Yeah, the double ult, especially at this point in the game, right? I have, what? I have 17 drive lens stacks. So my special attack's actually getting pretty high. So even if I go after Latios for the double ult on someone, and it uses my damage, it's still a decent chunk of damage. And they're grouping up so much in these team fights that the explosion from the double ult is constantly getting them. Latios levitates to me for us to defend bottom here, him to get some more stacks, me to get stacks too. And look at that, even as 4 people, we wipe them. Meanwhile, our Leaf is top, getting the objective. I decided to use this opportunity to try to score because they have a lot of people in different parts of the map that I see right now. So I just want to poke. Fortunately, or unfortunately rather, they are here. But I'm able to retreat enough to be able to just get some stacks and not die, hopefully. Yep, and with Ho-Oh here, we're easily able to take care of Pikachu and then turn on Snorlax. And this is another good combo. Ho-Oh's great with both Latios and Latias. First of all, either die, then Ho-Oh can bring them back. And second of all, bringing them both back is really, really strong together. And third of all, they're both really high sustained Pokemon that have a really strong mid-game presence. So we're easily able to dispatch these two together. And of course my 3 damage dealers top are just getting so much work done against their very squishy team. Their team struggles a lot at dealing with Latios, Charizard, and Leafeon, and you sort of see how and why. Latios is using all this time and space to keep farming stacks where he can. At this point he is well over 100 though, we're just getting more damage. Meanwhile, I'm back over here helping defend the goal zone, while also continuing to farm, get some levels, and get more stacks. Whoop, my bad. The Latios does die there, unfortunately. But it was before Rayquaza by enough that, hey, he's going to be back in time. So, honestly, him resetting his death timing by dying once before Rayquaza isn't necessarily a bad thing for us. Whoop. The burst damage of Dragon Pulse in the mid and late game makes it really easy to seal last hits that way. So don't be afraid to play slightly aggressively in terms of how you look for farm on the map. In the same way that a Pokemon like Ho-Oh can, with Sacred Fire and Flamethrower. Our team is doing a bit of poking, but I don't think we want to fight yet. We want to make sure that we're ready for Rayquaza. That is the big objective right now, after all. So my goal in the late game as Latias is pretty much to stay as close to Latios as I can, while also helping Ho-Oh and Charizard. And then trusting the Leafeon to get work done where he can. We don't get a double ult off here, but it's fine because I'm able to just get my buff off, make sure I can get more move spam, make sure I get a shield in case I need it, and make sure we rip through those people faster. I split off from my Latios there to make sure we didn't both get picked off by the Absol. My logic was Absol may kill me here, and if he does, I don't want Latios to die as well. Or vice versa. If Latios dies, I don't want to die with him. Remember, Absol is very, very good against Latios and Latias to do his burst damage. So make sure that when you're playing a game like this, that you do your best to keep distance from him in the late game. But of course, it doesn't matter here. We're fully able to take care of them and secure the W. Like I said, it was kind of a stomp of a game, to be honest, so I'm not really uploading it to, you know, highlight any specific strategic things, just to talk about Latias and just show off some cool plays and that sort of thing. But anyway, thank you all so much for watching, really appreciate you. Hope you enjoyed the video. I had no webcam this time, so I didn't feel like it, but I will on future videos still, of course. And also on my streams every weekend, twitch.tv/CQMFPG. I am affiliate now, so you can come subscribe, you can come chat, you can come get points, come hang out, it'll be fun. And yeah, by the way, if you like this content, be sure to share it and check out my Latias guide, which will be linked in the description below. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. Peace!